Might as well, when he walks away from you, he wants to be just a nickel straddle-legged. When he comes right towards you, he will roll off that left front foot. A real up-headed kind of a steer. Then the blue roan steer that closes the class, this steer has some muscle and thickness to it, but he really labors up through that front end, and the longer he'll stay out here, he'll have a tendency to want to be just a little bit buck-kneed, buck over in that front. Real nice steer to lead this class.
Single heifer entry in the Bromley show. Really nice fronted, smooth shoulder, straight line kind of heifer. A deep-sided heifer that's got some looseness to the center part of her body cavity. Yeah, if we could change her a little bit, we'd maybe make her a little wider based and with a little more muscle in the center part of her quarter. Maybe bring her out a little wider in her pants.
Here are the results in our Beef Builder Percentage Female Division Class 15. First place to entry 1784, BLC Dixon 5561. Owned by Bob and Marilyn Brink, Piedmont, Kansas.
Is it? Yeah. Is that right?
Here in our Broadway show, and our we're going to lead off with black heifer that's based wider, more masculine design. Heifer that's pretty long and good fronted. Like to see her tie together, shoulder from her ribbon, shoulder maybe a little cleaner, but given the condition that she's carrying today, it's not too big of a problem. Straight line heifer that I really appreciate for her width and dimension in her hip and down to her stifle. Bold, strong, deep red heifer that's coming along in her other development nicely, headed towards making a productive cow. Ideally, we'd like to see her freer and easier moving, but with a little bit of conditioning and taking a little bit of grease off her, she'll probably free up on that nature. We follow her with the smoked heifer, a heifer that's long, clean-fronted, good shouldered, got some muscle down her top, and she's got some depth of rib. But we'd really like to kind of widen her out and level her out her pins. She tends to get under herself a little bit due to that structure on the move. So a heifer that we'd really just like to straighten up a little bit structurally and on correct.
Here are the results in Class 16 junior yearling heifers. First place to entry 1785. Wandering Hills, Yes Ma'am, 4901. Followed by Taylor Nelson, Western Nebraska. Second place to entry 1783. Miss BBB 1102. Owned by Darkside Grande and Raccoon Ranch, Peculiar, Missouri.
big run.
Over on the Romney side, in our champion beef builder percentage female champion drive, we've got a nice indicative representation of what the Romney breed can do in certain settings genetically and for the commercial industry as a whole. Some pretty nice, attractive, heavy muscle females that on the older end look like they're going to have some internal capabilities and some body and volume to stay easy fleshing and add to the commercial industry. A really nice group with no more cattle in the fat that represent some of what I look for in cattle and the things that keep them economically sound. So with that, today we're going to use the baby heifer calf for champion and the big junior yearling foods.
Our grand champion percentage female to entry 1778, DSB Allen, owned by Taylor Nelson, Ceresco, Nebraska. Reserved to entry 1785, Wandering Hills Yes Ma'am 4901, owned by Taylor Nelson, Ceresco, Nebraska.
sure got quiet in here on this particular class, and then it got a lot of stand. The attendance increased about double. I told some of these youngsters down here that are standing a little bit lower, I said, you've got an awful good steer. It's just some really good ones in here. And you know, I've kind of been on a Saturday afternoon stroll and just looking through these classes, and I'm thinking to myself, we haven't seen that knockout punch steer come in here yet. I'm thinking, you know, we got 8 classes, we got 4 left, we're fixing to get into some heavier steers. But boy, in this class, it's a lot of good ones. I see these 2 steers, this young man that's standing in first at the moment, he's got a steer that's really, really long-sided, which I like. People would know that on me. He's got a real nice, clean front to him. It's real nice up through his brisket area. Walks and travels real, real well. Really nice balanced steer. Really nice from hooks to pin. He's got a good level hip on him. He's a little bit leveler at his pin setting than maybe the steer behind him. I like this steer behind him as soon as he came in with this young lady, and I kept looking at him. I watched those steers, and you know, I'll tell you, I make about 95% of my decision making those first 10 steps into the ring. I like to look at them as soon as they hit this ring, but I like this steer. And I kept glancing back to him over there when we had him in that end toe where I could compare it. This steer's got a lot of muscle and a lot of thickness to it. Both of these are real nice on their feet and legs. This steer's not quite as nice and pretty up through that front end. And any of y'all that would know me would say, yeah, you know, Mr. Jimmy likes a clean front end. That's the kind I like. But I like both of these steers. This steer is not quite as level from hooks to pin. And especially when you judge these cattle, what you have to do a lot of times, I like to have one lead in the front and just watch them walk and see how those cattle move and travel. And then I like to switch it. And I told this young man I was just going to put him in front maybe for business purposes. I told the young lady in a second, I said, he might just be up there camping out for about 5 minutes. Because it really makes a difference. And I walked her with him and this steer in the front, and then I walked this with him in the front. But when I changed them up, I like them just like I stand. You're going to win it, just hold your position, and you're going to be second. Because I think his steer is a little bit nicer up through his front, ever so slightly. What separates him from me a little bit, from hooks to pin, this steer is so level from hooks to pin that when he walks, he holds that back just like that. Your steer might have a tick more thickness when I get right behind it, just ever so slightly. But sometimes when you get those real thick steers, they have that tendency to droop in their pins, ever so slightly. And folks, you know, these are 2 good steers. I just have to call it like I see it. And I always have a say, you can fool the fans, but you can't fool the players. And that's how I see these 2 steers. Both of these kids showed real good. They were bearing down, which is my kind of showing, but I like them this way today. And you know, sometimes to say it's close, I might switch them. I don't really about switch them tomorrow or a week from now because of this rump's not quite as level in the front. Those are 2 really nice steers. I want to congratulate you. Let's give them a round of applause. You know, this is what you're going to get paid for. You go through these classes, and they're like a Sunday afternoon picnic, and then all of a sudden, when they start coming in here, I told these gentlemen to tell me, I said, boy, this is Dr. Swift Walker right quick. You know, this isn't just a throwaway right here in 3rd place. This is Brock